Yo, what's up guys, Shujinkydink here. This video is all about the Quan counterpicking strategy. So, Quan as a character, of course, you got the three variations. You got Summoner, Sorcerer, and Warlock. These two are pretty viable on their own. There is a couple matchups where they might need Warlock to come in and, scoop some bitches. So, of course, I'm a Summoner main, so I'm going to show you from a Summoner point of view when I would use Summoner, when I would use Warlock. I don't know a whole lot about the matchups for Sorcerer, so I'm assuming if you're a Sorcerer player, you can probably go with the Summoner, what I guarantee for Summoner. But again, I don't know all the matchups, so maybe you can give me some insight in that if you're a Sorcerer player. Anyways, I'm going to get started with Alien. So Tarkatan, I use Warlock for the sole purpose that you can scoop in between all of the Rekkas. If they delay them at all, just throw out a scoop. You got a combo. You're pretty much good to go. I mean, you can use Summoner, but with Tarkatan actually has a surprisingly easy time getting around the projectiles, I find. And then, of course, Summoner with no reversal and no armor or no backdash or anything. Well, he has a backdash, but the Rekkas, even if you backdash them when they're delayed, it's hard to punish them. And sometimes the reach can catch you out of your backdash. Acidic, I like to use Summoner just to kind of keep him out. He actually outzones them, has better zoning and whatnot. Again, it's kind of tough if he gets in, but I mean, Warlock doesn't really do much better because he can't really keep him out, and then Acidic's rushdown is ridiculous. So, Conjurer, I haven't played very many Conjurers, but I feel comfortable in both Summoner and Warlock going against that variation. So, maybe someone who has some more experience can chime in, but so far I think both of them are fine. Jason Voorhees, all three variations I just choose Summoner. He's a lot better now after the most recent patch. He's very viable. So he's still tough, but I don't really see any reason that I would pick Warlock over Summoner. Kung Lao, same deal. There was a time when I would counterpick Tempest with Warlock, but now I just use Summoner for all three. Pretty easy matchup, just get him in the Vortex, keep him out, zone him out, react to the teleport. You could probably use Warlock in this matchup, no problem. I don't think it's a losing matchup for him or anything, but I just think it's easier for Summoner. Jax is kind of the same deal. Summoner all the way through. All three variations do fine. Wrestler Jax. I mean, you could go Warlock against Wrestler Jax because you can kind of scoop in between some of the setups he has with the command grabs. But on the flip side of that, Wrestler doesn't have the same zoning capabilities that Pumped Up and Heavy Weapons do, so it's easier to keep him out. Just my opinion. Now here's a surprise one. So Sonya, Covert Ops, and Demolition. I hear Demolition is actually really good with Sorcerer. I haven't played this yet, so I can't really say. It makes sense from a theory standpoint because she can't do projectiles full screen. She can't throw her grenades full screen as long as you have the armor circle out. But so far, I think Summoner does pretty good. Might be slightly losing matchup for him, I think, 4-6, but he's not out of the game or anything. Covert Ops is fine with Summoner. Special Forces is actually a really good matchup for Warlock. Reason being is that every time that she goes to pull out her little drone thing, you can just kick her right in the butt. And it stops the drone from coming, and it basically ruins all of her setups. There is a 1st to 10 that I did with UA My God on my channel somewhere. I'll try and find it and post the link in the description, but you can kind of see how Warlock really shuts down the offensive with her Special Forces drone. So can she, fuck, just pick whatever variation, I don't give a shit. You'll probably beat him. Katana, Mournful can be kind of tricky for Summoner. I don't know how she does against Sorcerer, but I also, on the flip side, I don't really see a benefit to picking Warlock in that matchup either, because the tools that you get don't really help. It's just how fast her projectiles are, and the arc that she puts them down. It's kind of a tough matchup. I have it maybe like a 4-6 for Quan if it's played properly, but I do just stick with Summoner and go through it. Royal Storm is one of the few matchups I will counterpick with Warlock, for the sole being that she can't do the little flutter into the fans, because you can just kick her in the butt when she does it every time. Also, you can disrespect her frame traps with the scoop, and then once she sees that you are armoring her frame traps, then you can go for throws or back twos or whatever to kind of mix it up. Assassin, I mean, Warlock has the same kind of deal where you can kick her in the butt when she does the flutter into the fans, but you know, I think Summoner does just fine. Scorpion, Inferno, I go Summoner. Not really a whole lot to say. Just does fine against them. Hellfire, I use Summoner. He's got better pressure, but it's not really anything to be too worried about. Ninjutsu, I'll actually pick Warlock against. Just because Summoner has a tough time dealing with the back two. And the range on that. And you can mix it up in Warlock, because a lot of ninjutsu players will kind of walk back and forth and play footsies and then try and go in for a back two, or they'll go in with her or a back two or forward two. And then you can kind of counter space them, so throw a skull if you think they're going to walk forward, or do the forward three if they're kind of walking back. And I just find it easier. I find it really challenging as Summoner. Sub-Zero, all variations I use Summoner. Again, I'm told that Sorcerer is pretty good, which I've played the matchup a little bit of Sorcerer. It is good full screen. You can put up the armor circle. You're kind of good. Talk much. You're kind of good to go. You don't have to worry about the ice ball trade. In the corner, it's kind of tricky because it's hard to get your portal up. But if you can, then it turns out to be very good. Otherwise, you know, I think the other variation, Summoner, does just fine. Melina, Ravenous, Ethereal, I don't really know how to pronounce that. Summoner does just fine. Piercing, I've played Foxy, and I know he's an amazing player. He bodied me pretty good. I don't really know what variation would be best here. I'm still kind of figuring this out. So if you have any experience, please let me know. But I know with the back one too, it's kind of a guessing game a little bit of what they're going to do next. So I didn't have any luck with any variations. So Shiro Ryu, I have trouble in all variations of Quan. I'll use Liu Kang for this matchup, honestly. One of the few matchups I'll pick a different character in. It's just his pressure and his range is really hard to get at. If you want to pick Quan, your diehard Quan, I'd probably go Summoner. Just for the damage in the vortex, and just hope that you guess right all the time. Ronin, I'm fine with Summoner. I think it's a 5-5 matchup. Lasher, I'm fine with Summoner. I think it's a 5-5 matchup. Cassie Cage, all three options I would go with Summoner, just to zone her out. Brawler, you might want to go with Warlock, just because she does have the command grabs and stuff, so you get a wake-up option, but I don't think you really need to, particularly. Just zones are out pretty bad, so... Jackie, so shotgun and high tech, I usually pick Summoner because they don't have a true projectile, so you can just kind of zone her out, keep her at bay. Full auto, I will actually pick Warlock because you see that little gun blast that she's doing right there? As soon as she finishes that, if you neutral duck it, you can just forward 3 and actually punish it. Sometimes they will enhance it and do those little little rockets afterwards. And even if you do your forward 3 after that, that will hit her and it will push her towards you as the rockets push you towards her. And if they tech roll, then she actually tech rolls forward, because forward 3 has that really weird, I don't exactly know why it works, but you forward 3 and then she rolls forward, so she rolls into you. So she can't use the machine gun at all. Every time she uses it, you're just going to punish her with forward 3, and then she's, she has to come in, and then all her plus frames and stuff, you can just scoop them. So I think it's a really good matchup for Warlock. Ancestral and Bojutsu, I'll use Summoner, no problem. Shaolin, I'll use Warlock, just because you can actually do the EX scoop as the low chakram is coming on its way back. So you can lab that. Also, forward 3 keeps them at bay, skull keeps them at bay, and you got the reset and stuff too. So Tanya, everything is pretty much summoner. Pyromancer, Warlock does really good against, so you can pick either one in that matchup. But the other two, I mean, now that she's been nerfed, are fine with summoner. Summoner for all of these, just keep him out. His zoning sucks. Isn't pretty much non-existent, so don't even worry about this character. Leatherface, Pretty Lady I might use Warlock against just for the counter zoning option, but I haven't really played a good one, so I can't really say for sure. Summoner zoning is also very good, so it's kind of, give and take. I think it's 5-5 either way, and the other two, Summoner, no problem. Warrior and Hunter, Summoner, no question. HQ10, I might go with Warlock on this one, just for the 4-3 for the counter zoning, and also to counter his frame traps and stuff, you get the scoop. If you get your zoning done first, like the thing with Quan is the rune beats that little plasma he's doing, because the rune gives a knockdown where the plasma just kind of stuns you, so you can knock him down every time, and then it's your turn after that. So, I mean, all variations of Quan have it, so, it's hard to say. Maybe Sorcerer because he has the Armor Circle, I'm not too sure. Imposter Shinnok, absolutely Quan's worst matchup in all variations. He steals the Trance, which gives him a ridiculously OP Vortex. I'm just kidding, I'm not complaining about that too much, but, it is a Vortex, so it kind of sucks. It's like 40-something% back into a restand. I'll usually pick Liu Kang in this matchup. The other two are fine with Summoner. You just got to play right. They're kind of tough, but you'll be alright. Kano, all three of them, I'll go with Summoner. No problem. Nothing really special to say here. Johnny Cage, same thing. A-list is kind of tough. You might want to use Warlock, but the problem is that he's got the 1-2 and the 1-1 that will break your armor pretty quickly. So Warlock, he can bait you if he outplays you. So just keep that in mind. So that's why I use Summoner to try and keep them out. Mix them up. And then, yeah, Fisticuffs and Stunt Double pretty easily. Aaron Black, same thing. Summoner kind of deals with all three variations pretty easily. Not much to say there. Liu Kang, Summoner works well with all of it. Even Dragon's Fire, which has some really good pressure. Ermac, pretty much any variation of Quan is good against this, because if he does just the regular push, you can punish it with a rune. Spectral, Master of Souls. Master of Souls I'm still trying to figure out an answer for. It's basically Vortex versus Vortex, so I would recommend going with Summoner, because then he's got a Vortex on you and you got a Vortex on him, so kind of makes it fair. Kotal Khan, Sun God, I like to use Warlock for the wake up option, because otherwise, if you get hit with that command grab, it's pretty much game over, because he can pressure you for free, and he's got so many different ways he can get it. I've played numerous matches with illusions, and I think that's the way to go. You can do Summoner. Summoner isn't. The thing is, it's like you either keep him out or you freaking die. Like if he gets in on you, you're dead pretty much. But he can zone him out. I have had success with that in the past, but it's just really hard, and it's really stressful, honestly. Blood God, I use Summoner. War God, you're fine with Summoner. Reptile, I have a tricky time with. I have trouble with his zoning. Nimble and Deceptive haven't really given me too much trouble. Noxious is kind of mostly from playing Aura. I find that the zoning's kind of difficult. So, I mean, I've had most success with Summoner, but I'm honestly not 100% sure who to pick against Reptile. Ferritor, Ruthless with a Pain and Gain, I would probably recommend going with Warlock, because once it gets you in the corner, it's kind of difficult. Having said that, though, he does zone him out pretty good in Summoner, and you can do that pretty easily in all three variations, so that might be something to consider. Devora, I like to use Warlock against Swarm Queen to take advantage of the frame gaps and give yourself a wake up. As long as you know that matchup and you know exactly where to do the Armored Scoop, you should be alright. Broodmother and Venomous, you never see them other than myself playing Venomous, but you can zone both those out, no problem with Summoner. Raiden, Summoner, all 3 variations, no problem. Nothing really special to note here. Quan mirrors, I don't know, just pick whatever variation they pick and I'll play them. That's what I'd say. Goro, I pick Summoner in all variations. You do need to know the matchups though, because sometimes in Dragon Fangs or Tiger Fury, he has some really good pressure, but there is gaps in all of his pressure, and it's fairly easy to get around, but you do need to know the matchup. Tremor's been normalized, shouts to M2 Dave, so you know, Summoner does fine against all of them. And Triborg, last but not least, I have found no reason to counterpick any of these with Warlock. They seem... actually, Sector. I played Costner's Sector, and I did find that the Warlock Portal Stab worked well when he tried to do the teleport, and then if he does the kind of the air charge at you, you can do the Portal Stab to catch him out of that. And also some frame gaps and stuff like that you can abuse with the slam. So I do like that, but again, you know, Summoner's got that Vortex, so you know, you always have 50-50 chances of winning as long as you have meter. Smoke, same thing. Smoke's got a Vortex, so definitely pick Summoner against him. Any character that has a Vortex, basically, you can counter with your own, other than Imposter Shinnok, because his is pretty much meterless. He doesn't really need meter to do his. I guess, I don't know if Smokes is meterless or not. I don't know enough. Cyrax is a pretty low tier, and Cyber Sub is not really a problem. So that's basically my counterpicking chart for Quan. All of the matchups that you'll want to counterpick with whatever variation. Again, I went mostly from a Summoner perspective. You Sorcerer players might have a different idea. Hope you like this video. Hashtag Bonehawks and all that stuff. Let me know who you counterpick. And we will see you guys in the next video.